I'm already out of breath. I just brought over all of my alocasias and it's not even all of them. I made a list and I wanted to compare to last year's video, and I have 32 varieties and last year I had 19. So yeah, I've acquired a lot of new alocasia, but alocasia are my favorite genus, so there's no surprise there. I also have a pretty lengthy alocasia wish list, but I do have a couple of wish list alocasias that I've acquired this year. So yeah, today's video is going to be a updated alocasia collection video of 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my jungle story. I'm Jacqueline, and yeah, alocasias are my favorite genus, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. I cannot believe there are 32 varieties, and there's actually, I have on Downtown Plant Club a cart open for 3 other alocasias that I really want. So we'll see, but I'm going to a plant market on Saturday, so I think I might get some new ones because it's a rare plant market, so I think the ones that I want, that they might be there, but I'll of course bring you guys along and do a haul and everything. But yeah, if you are new here, alocasias are my favorite. They are my absolute favorite. And if you are not new here, you just know alocasia are my favorite genus. They are, however, one of the more dramatic genuses. They are definitely a challenge, and they make it challenging to grow them. But I find that challenge quite interesting, and the amount of different varieties, I don't know what it is. It's just something about alocasia that draws me to them. And over the years, it has always been a genus that I have gone to, and I just can't resist. Probably about 2 years, I said to myself, you know what, I might as well just go all in. Just go all in, just admit it, just say it. Alocasia are your favorite genus, and just deal with the drama because it is a part of it. I've got my list, so I definitely don't forget any, because there were actually a couple that I almost forgot because they are in the garden and they are the last 3 that I've written down. But I'm actually going to start with an alocasia that I cannot bring over here. I wanted to for in this shot, but it's too big and it's too heavy. And that's my alocasia regal shield. I have that one in pon, and that plant is actually technically Mitch's. My one is trying to survive in the garden, but I don't think it's going to do a very good job. I don't know. I put it in a spot where I thought there was not a lot of sun, but I don't know. I feel like the sun, when it does hit it, it's quite intense, even if it is only morning sun. So yeah, it's not doing very well there. The one indoors is definitely a lot happier. Yeah, that's hands down my easiest alocasia and one of my favorites. I also wanted to rank my alocasias, but I already spent quite a long time writing them all down. So I thought ranking them, that's just going to be too difficult, especially for them being my favorite genus. That's just too hard. But I can safely say that the regal shield is hands down in my top 3 favorite alocasias, definitely. It's just such a hardy one, such an easy one. Lexi. I've also made a care guide on that regal shield. I'll link that one down below. I actually want to make a care guide on just the alocasia genus in general, but I do have to say there's so many different varieties. Each and every single one of them comes with a new set of challenges. I don't want to put you off alocasia, I don't. But they are definitely very dramatic plants. But the regal shield, if you're getting into alocasia, you need that alocasia. It is so hardy and so easy. It every now and then gets spider mites, but honestly, I've sometimes let that plant fend for itself, and because it's already quite a mature one, it kind of just does its thing and it takes care of it. I do, however, have beneficial bugs now. You'll see a lot of these little boxes on quite a couple of my alocasia. It's mainly for the spider mites because that is a pest that alocasia do get very frequently. And I had an incredibly bad infestation last year. I lost a couple, not like lost, I still had corms, but yeah, spider mites, they love alocasias. So I do have to take extra precautions for that. But the regal shield, it kind of just susses itself out. It just takes care of itself. It grows very, very quickly. The leaves are so nice and like velvety, and the color, oh, it's just one of my favorites, definitely. The next plant is this one over here. This one's also living quite close to the regal shield, and this is the tandurusa. You can see I've got one of these little boxes. That's where the mites, but the mites usually only really come out at night. But yeah, this plant hands down always gets spider mites, and right now I don't see any spider mites on here. I am doing it as like a preventative measure, but I do see a thrip. That's just perfect. That's just perfect. It is in, this is one of Mitch's plants. It is in Mitch's corner. That's like his plant corner, and he does have thrips at the moment. I do need to get like beneficial bugs for that as well. I've just squished it. It was an adult form, however, so the adult form they can fly. And there's another one. Just squish it. Oh, and there's more. Oh my word, there's everywhere. There's everywhere. Yeah, it's that time of year. It's unfortunately that time of year. I remember last year when I made this video that I was also struggling with pests, and it's a given. It's a given with, oh, I can't see the little mites, the little teeny tiny mites crawling around there. The good bugs, I mean. Because I don't see, yeah, I don't see spider mites on here, which for the tandurusa is very, very rare. But yeah, I had to chop off all of its foliage. It had at one point even 4 leaves, which was amazing. But I had to chop them all off because of spider mites, because it was so bad. But this is such a beautiful alocasia. It's stunning. Like, look at it compared to my head. It can size up quite quickly, but it is, it's a little bit more, it's definitely one of the most dramatic ones, 100%. Spider mites can destroy this plant and just, yeah, completely kill it. So you do have to, take that in consideration with this one. Unfortunately, we have it growing in pond, and the reservoir it's still wet, but there's no water in there anymore. But it does have a pretty good root system, but I can see that it does need to be flushed again. It's a little bit dusty, but yeah, seems to be happy in there. That is the tandurusa. Very, very dramatic one, very dramatic. And then next up is the black velvet, which is just a corm right now. I actually have a tray full of black velvet corms that I rescued from my work. I found a bunch of them on the table. I think someone was picking them out of the pots and then decided not to take them with. I don't know, because it was like they were all huddled, yeah, on the table. It was very, very weird. You could see someone had it in their hands and they just put it down because they were all like in a bunch. So I rescued all of them. I think there was about 10. There was a lot. So the mother plant of the black velvet, I don't have that one anymore. Like my original black velvet that I've had for years, I actually got rid of that one because it was not doing anything. It had gone dormant and it then started to rot. So yeah, but I have a bunch of corms, so I do still have a black velvet, but I love that plant. That is also definitely in my top 3, but it is a very, very dramatic one, the black velvet. If that one gets any type of pest, because of the incredibly velvety black leaves, you can see it straight away and it looks absolutely awful. So yeah, unfortunately I don't have one that I can physically show you. I'm also rescuing some, which is, they're not looking very good at all. But yeah, the corms, I think the corms will be fine. Black velvets, they make corms like absolute crazy, and they usually do very, very well. So I'm hoping starting from a corm again, it'll do okay. However, the next one on the list is a pink black velvet, and this was a wish list plant for me for years and years and years, and I did not think that I was ever going to be able to get my hands on one, and I found this one. I don't see any roots. It's dropping this leaf as well, which is sad, but I think it's definitely rooting in there. It's just taking its sweet time. But yeah, I got this at My Botanica in Horton, which was a month ago. And it did have a lot more leaves, and the leaves were absolutely stunning. They really, really were. I'll pop in a picture of what it looked like when I just got it. It has unfortunately dropped all of those leaves, and it's going to drop that leaf there as well. But honestly, if I see another pink black velvet at the rare plant market, which I'm sure that I will probably pick another one up. This is one of those plants that I could have. My whole collection could be this plant. I just love it. I absolutely love it. If I had to pick, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, if I had to, I was going to say, if I had to pick like 10 alocasias, this one would definitely be in there, and the normal black velvet, I love. It's one of those, it's like with the Regal Shield, if I had the elbow version of that one, I would still have both of them. There are some, like the macrorrhiza, or macrorrhiza, I don't know the right way of saying that, but I prefer the variegated versions to like the normal one. But with the black velvet and the Regal Shield, I'll definitely have both of them. But yeah, I still have the prettiest leaf. It's still doing okay. It's sad that that one is going. I've noticed that my cabinet is getting, I've actually opened my cabinet because I have a couple of Alocasia in there. And I opened it to see when I see now it says 26 degrees in there. I mean, it is going to be a hot day today, but before I opened my cabinet, it's at 29 degrees in there. So yeah, it's I have my fans on the whole time as well, but it's very, very hot in there, obviously, especially in the summer. So I do have to water them more frequently. I have it in a very water retentive mix. This is the Alocasia mix from Botanica, and I've seen really, really good results. I have quite a couple of my Alocasias. Yeah, I'll mention with each and every single one what I'm growing them in, but I have a couple of them in there, and they are doing very, very well. Oh, that's a fungus gnat. That's a fungus gnat, yeah. But yeah, it's still holding on to the prettiest leaf, but yeah. Again, if I see another one of these, I'll pick another one up. It's just one of those plants that, you could have a million of. But I bought this one for 30 euros, which I thought was a really good price for the pink black velvet, because they're quite pricey. So that is that one. Next one is another one that lives in my cabinet, and that is the Alocasia antoro velvet. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see. You must be able to, because it's quite bad. But it's got spider mites. I do have beneficial bugs in my cabinet, so I'm kind of letting it do its thing, but this is quite bad. Like, there's a lot of webbing. And the antoro velvet, it's got like teeny tiny little hairs, so it can be quite bad. This was a rescue, actually. I rescued this from my work, and I was very surprised that it actually made it, because it was definitely a rescue. But yeah, you can see, do you see the webbing? It's quite bad. It's actually funny, this one's been going down in price very quickly, because we can get one probably about this size for 12 euros now. And this little baby, I think, was like 8 euros at the time. It's funny, the baby ones are more expensive than like bigger ones. I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's still alive. It's actually, no. Yeah, that's the first leaf it gave me. It had another leaf, yeah, but that one was honestly, it didn't look like a leaf anymore. The spider mites had just eaten it up. So I cut that one off. I'm going to give it like a little bit of a wash, because I don't see any, like, the good bugs crawling around on there. But yeah, because of the teeny tiny little hairs on the antoro velvet, it just can be a bugger for spider mites. I have seen that. Then another, this is a wish list Alocasia. I also got this at my Botanica, and that is this one. This is the Alocasia Venusta. Yeah, honestly, I was very surprised when I saw this one, because I have not seen this one online or just like available anywhere. This is a preventative measure. This one did not have spider mites. I'm doing it more to prevent spider mites, because this one's got very thick leaves. even though it looks quite delicate, but the leaves are quite thick. And I feel like if this one gets spider mites, it's gonna look awful. It's gonna look absolutely awful. I'm just checking the plant over. I don't see anything. I need to give these plants like a good clean as well. But yeah, this is also in the mix from Cibotanica. The same with the Antoro velvet. I didn't say that. Also in the Cibotanica mix. But this was a teeny tiny little plant, and I don't see any new roots on the outside. And it's been in that pot for quite a while actually. This one has not been in this pot yet. My Botanica was a month ago. And can you see there a little root popping out? This one was in, this is a 12 centimeter pot, and I think it was in a 10 centimeter pot. So yeah, this one was already quite big. It wasn't in like a small plug, and it's actually getting ready to give me a new leaf. It's so exciting. Yeah, this is how I bought it, with these 2 leaves. But yeah, major wish list plant. Just, I was very surprised when I saw this, and I only paid 15 euros for this. It just blew my mind. I had to get it. At this point, I'd already spent a lot of money, and I actually said to myself, I'm not gonna spend any more money until I saw this one. And for 15 euros, I couldn't let it go. I just really couldn't. It's just such a pretty one. It's also living in my cabinet. Next up is also quite a new addition. I think I've only had this one for 2 weeks, and I don't think I've shown this one to you. So this is a Alocasia, I never know the right way of saying this, chantrieri, I don't know, it's a little baby. And it's already going to give me a new leaf there. This was in a teeny tiny little pot. Oh my word, I can already see roots there. Yeah, it was in a teeny tiny little pot. I think I paid 6 euros or something for it. It was in a garden centre in Antwerp. Yeah, I'd never been there before, and the prices of their plants were absolutely amazing. And when I saw this one, I knew straight away, because it didn't have a tag, but I knew straight away it was a chantrieri, because I do have this one on my, it's not like on my wish list, but it's on my, I don't know, I feel like my Alocasia wish list is just like a whole separate list in its own. And I don't necessarily have to have all of the Alocasia, definitely not. But there are some on that list that I'm like, oh, if I do come that one across, I do want to get it. And yeah, it seems to be doing very well, because I've put it into stratum, because I do want to get this one into pon. See, there's already roots on the outside there, and I got this 2 weeks ago. And I did put it into stratum straight away, because it did have a very good root system. But I'm so happy there's like already a leaf there. I cannot believe that. This one's also living in my cabinet. So yeah, it seems to be doing very well. I keep on looking at my list. I'm going to start ticking them off. Otherwise, I'm just going to get lost. Next up, this was, oh my word. I've actually acquired quite a lot of wish list Alocasia this year already. Oh, you wobbly. Why are you so wobbly? I could see a lot of good roots there, but maybe I need to like put some more soil at the top, because yeah, there's only one leaf over, because for some reason it all of a sudden dropped all of its leaves. However, it was giving me this leaf. This is definitely the, like, look at the size of that, the biggest leaf that it's ever given me. And it does have that purpley sheen to it, because before it wasn't doing that. Oh, it's so beautiful. I really hope the camera is going to pick it up. It does. It's still quite soft, actually. It's still quite soft. See if I can hold it still, if you can see it. Oh, it's so pretty and so big. Like, look at it. I feel, yeah, no, maybe a hand, you can compare it more. This one is also living in my IKEA Millsboro tall, and it is also in the mix from Cibotanica. I do always have them linked in the description if you want to go ahead and check out their website, and I do also have a discount code. But the longiloba, oh yeah, I didn't say, this is the longiloba purple. This one does have a little bit more of a, you're not really going to be able to see, because it is minuscule. There's a lot of new roots here I can see, but this one has a very fine root system. It's quite a delicate Alocasia. You can see how thin the stem is. It's very, I don't know, it feels very delicate. I used to have it in my Alocasia corner, and it dropped all of those leaves, and I don't know why. I think maybe the SANSI grow lights that I have in that Alocasia corner, that they might be a little bit too strong for this plant. However, it did give me this leaf there. So I have moved it into my cabinet now, because yeah, I just feel like this one's a little bit more fragile. And it seems to be doing well because that purple is coming out even more since I've put it in the cabinet. And the lights on my cabinet are not as strong as the SANSI grow lights. But yeah, that is another wish list alocasia that I acquired at the beginning of this year. This was like a New Year's present, sort of. Downtown Plot Club was doing like a sale. Had to get this one. Next up is this one. This is the variegated micholitziana, the frydek. And I actually have, I'll show you like my first ever one, because this is actually a second one that I got. That leaf does look like it's about to die. Yeah, this one also has one of those little boxes with the mites, because the micholitziana, like the regular one, it literally lives with spider mites in my home. It's just absolutely ridiculous all year round. So when I got this one, I did want to make sure that I'm taking like preventative measures. There's no spider mites on here when I got it. I got this from my work. This was also kind of a rescue from my work. It was looking very droopy. I don't really see a lot of roots. And there were a couple in here. There's actually one, two, yeah, there's a couple, but this one here does not look very good. The new growth is like brown. There's a new leaf here. That one looks very, very pretty. That one's doing well. And yeah, there's another one here, but that leaf is also not looking the best. I don't know, I tried to not shock this plant when I repotted it because the soil was absolutely awful. So I wanted to repot it. This is also from Botanica, but it's just, I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on this plant. It's definitely one of the more finicky ones for me. I don't know. I've always struggled with the micholitziana in general, so obviously I'm going to struggle with the variegated version as well. But yeah, I think that's a new leaf. That's new in my care. So yeah, that is this one. This was also one that I got probably about a month ago. But then my original one, like my first ever one that I got, is looking like this. It is going to give me a new leaf, but yeah, it was living in my cabinet. I had a bad spider mites breakout in there, and that was just before the winter, and that kind of shocked it. It went dormant, and the corm, it has an incredibly long corm because the corm comes down to about here, and it wasn't doing anything. It was literally dormant for probably about 4 months. It wasn't doing anything, and now it is finally giving me some roots there. It's in stratum, and it's pushing out a new leaf. So yeah, I knew it wasn't going to die, but it was being a bugger. It was dormant for a very long time. Oh, can you pass me the micholitziana in the back room, please? It doesn't have spider mites, does it? Okay, next up is the regular, the micholitziana. And this one is doing okay. I actually used to have one, I was doing an experiment. I had one in pon and one in soil mix, and the one in pon just kept on doing this like cycling thing where, not with the leaves, but with the roots. It was like making new roots, and then they were rotting. And I was watering was no problem, but I don't know. It's obviously a little bit more temperamental when it's in pon. I don't know. Or it just takes a while to bounce back. I don't know what it is. But yeah, this is the only one that I have left over. It is giving me a new leaf at the moment, and it looks to be quite a good one. All the dogs are barking in the street. Yeah, this one does have spider mite damage, but it doesn't currently have spider mites. I checked it over. It's very, very dusty. That's definitely, it's living in like the back room at the moment. It seems to be doing very well there. This is the best that I've ever had, a micholitziana. It's just, yeah, whenever this one gets spider mites, the damage just looks so incredibly awful. So it doesn't have spider mites at the moment, but it does look like it has it because of the damage it leaves behind, because of the velvety leaves. So I don't know. I want one like this, but not velvety. That's what I'm trying to find. And I was actually trying to grow the Alocasia muratus, but I actually bought that as a seedling, not a corm. It was still a seedling and didn't make it. It just did absolutely nothing. And that one does, the veining looks very, very similar to the micholitziana. And I was going to replace this one with that one. But I don't know. There's just something about this plant. I can't throw it away, but it's just, it does my head in. It really, really does. What is that? That's not roots, that's plastic from the pot. It's rooted quite nicely in there. This is also in the mix from Botanica. So yeah, it's rooted very nicely. It's doing well. It's just the damn spider mites with this one that I really, really struggle with. By the way, I didn't mention, but when I found the thrips on the tandurusa, I did squish them all and I did go ahead and wash my hands afterwards. However, they were adult ones, so one could have easily just flied off and landed on one of the other plants. It happens. Where are you? Oh, you're here. You're here. Are you still alive? Are you? Just checking to see if it's still alive. I don't think it is. Oh no. Well, this is the long bit. I'm going to take it out because the stratum's dry anyway, but I think this is a goner. Yeah, it's a goner. It's mush. Oh no, I do still have another one upstairs, but it also doesn't have any foliage. I'll pop in a picture of what mine looked like. The Alocasia watsoniana, beautiful plant, absolutely stunning. One day, if I see another one of those, I think I will repurchase it because the corms did absolutely nothing. They didn't do very well. I'm just going to take it out and show you guys. It's a mushed corm anyway. I could probably chop this up and try, but I find the corms of the watsoniana to be very, very difficult. Very difficult. So, oh, there's even flies coming out of here. Yeah, definitely rotting going on there. Yeah, the watsoniana, I do still technically have that one in my collection. Upstairs, also corms. They are doing okay, but the watsoniana is a very temperamental one. I have to watch that plant like a hawk when it comes to watering. Most of the corms, they've all rotted. I used to have that plant living in stratum for a very, very long time, and it was growing in stratum in the picture that I showed you guys. It was doing so, so well. Oh my word. And then I took it out of stratum because that was when I was first getting into stratum, and I was nervous that it just wasn't going to be happy in there anymore. Shouldn't have done that. Should not have done that. Should have just left it in stratum. Honestly, it was happy in there, so why didn't I just leave it? I just thought, you can't keep them because the stratum will eventually goes to mush, and you can then have like rotting issues happen. But it's a very long time that actually starts to happen. Oh, so yeah, that's very sad about the watsoniana because that would have been in my top 3, 100%. The regal shield, black velvet, and the watsoniana, 100%. So that is sad about that one. However, I did go ahead and get a different variety of the watsoniana, which is the Prince of Curup. And that is also just a corm at the moment. It's still alive, but it's also a temperamental one. I just feel like the watsoniana varieties, they are a little bit temperamental. I would definitely recommend getting a bigger version of that one because they can be drama queens, or just in my experience, they can be drama queens. So if you've experienced something differently, or how do you grow your watsoniana, please let me know in the comments because I would love to hear that, because I've struggled with that plant since I've had it. So yeah, I brought it home and it honestly just rotted within a week. Yeah, I don't know what it is. And the ones at work, we still have 2 at work because it's quite expensive. I think it's like between the 30 to 40 euros, but it's a very dramatic one, but they've not rotted yet. But a lot of them did. Like, we've had to throw away a lot of them. We've actually not ordered anymore because, I don't know, people go for the more cheaper versions, and I feel like a lot of people who come to the Alocasia table at work, they look at the cheapest one because to them it all looks the same. They're not like, you know what I mean? So it is sad about that, but yeah, I'm not going to reorder them for them to just stand there then. But maybe the last 2, maybe I'll rescue them and see if I can try again with them, because the corm is also, it's not dead, but it's not doing anything. So I do still have that plant, but I don't feel like, I don't feel like I have it because I don't have any foliage, any like physical plants. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are those two watsoniana varieties. Next up is the gageana aurea. Where did I put you? Here. So I have a lot of corms from this one as well. This one also makes corms very, very quickly. And I recently did this one with you guys, and I put it in this self-watering system with, there's a wick. It's the first time I'm trying this system, so it's something new for me. And it has actually given me a little baby down here. It has the most beautiful leaf. Like the variegation on that one is going to be really, really pretty. It does, I mean, you can see at the base, it's quite a beefy one. This is the mother plant. I've got so many corms from this one, honestly. It makes corms very, very quickly. And this is just absolutely amazing. Look at that. Look at all those roots. Oh. I've not had to add water into this water reservoir since I've done that with you guys. And that was probably in like my time 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? So yeah, it seems to be doing well. I'm not going to take that little baby out of there because I want a nice full one, but I have a bunch of corms upstairs as well. I think I've got a whole tray full of them. I remember last year this plant was a spider mite magnet, but again, I've got quite a couple of these little sachets in the alocasia corner because that's where this one is living. So I don't feel like if spider mites come there, oof, they're going to be eaten, you know, they're going to be eaten. It's living in the semi-hydro mix from Plant Scraper. This is also the first time, this whole setup is like the first time of me trying something. It's very, very chunky, very, but you saw the roots there. It absolutely loves it. So it's just, yeah, I'm loving the setup. It is so easy, so low maintenance. The Syngonium that I also did in the same setup, I've not had to add water. The wick system obviously is, I think, a good combination between like my approach to alocasia or like plant care in general. So I don't know, I'm really liking it. But yeah, that's the gageana aurea. I've gone through a lot of ups and downs with this plant, a lot. This was actually part of a major plant fail. I got this plant with thrips, but like adult form thrips when I unboxed it. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs, but I love it. It's, I think, one of the only aurea variegated plants that I have, because sometimes I don't like the yellow variegation on some plants, but with the gageana, I have to say it looks very nice. And yeah, it's doing very, very well. Then next up, this one looks very droopy. Why are you droopy? Don't tell me you need water again. No, you don't. No, you're good. Maybe it does need a bigger pot. It probably does need a bigger pot. This is looking very droopy, isn't it? That's so weird. This is my macrorrhiza Splash, and this is actually a plant that I'm thinking about parting with because I want the elbow version of the macrorrhiza. But they're still quite pricey. But the Splash version, but however, that new leaf. Look at that new leaf. It's so pretty. I don't know, this plant just does sometimes give me a little bit of a headache. Like if this plant has pests, it's very hard to see because of the splashy variegation. And sometimes I feel like the splashy variegation also stunts the plant because you can see on this leaf, I mean, this is an old leaf, but you can see how it's not 100% like the shape that it needs to be. Because of the splashiness, it's kind of like stunted the leaf shape. The same, no, that one is actually okay. But this one did have really, really bad spider mites. I don't see any like active ones now. I can't see remnants of them. This plant is very dusty. It's also right next to the window, and because of the hot weather that we've been having, we've actually been opening both windows, and usually we only open the one. But yeah, I need to give this plant some TLC. I think it needs to go in a bigger pot because it's in quite a small pot. It's very, very rooted in there. It's like mainly just roots. So yeah, I think I just need to up pot this one. I also know that this one gives me a lot of corms, and I haven't done corm digging for a while, and I can see some at the top here actually. Yep. Oh, I can see several at the top. Yeah, I've noticed that if this one has too many, but yeah, it's been in this pot for a long time. I just need to repot it. That's what I need to do, because I've recently watered it and it's still drooping a little bit. This is also quite an easy one. It's just you have to be careful pest wise. This is actually in a DIY alocasia mix that I made. It's quite chunky. I would actually like to put it in the one from Cibotanica because I have to water this one quite frequently. This was when I was first experimenting with my own like DIY alocasia mix, and I wasn't having a very good time because I made it like too chunky, and I was behind on like watering with them. So the one from Cibotanica, they just have like a perfect balance of everything, that you don't have to water them as frequently. There's like, it holds moisture very, very well. It's just, yeah, that mix is amazing. So I would like to put this one in there. So yeah, but I do want to do an alocasia. Like, I feel like it's been a while since I've done a Hoya care day and an alocasia care day. So that's definitely going to be in the works, maybe for next month. But yeah, that's this one. I don't know. I feel like I said I wanted to part with it, but like now that I'm talking about it, I don't know. I just, yeah, I have a hard time with alocasia and parting with them. Next up is the Alocasia Ninja. I love this one so much as well. It's definitely up there with the black velvet. I love popping the leaves. Make them stick out. There you go. So this is the Ninja. Look at that veining on it. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And then it like fades more, and it's got like the veining almost looks like it's like bleeding out later on. Oh, it's such a pretty one. It's one that sizes up quite nicely as well. I mean, it is one of the like the jewel alocasia, one of the dwarf alocasia, so it stays quite compact. It's giving me a new leaf there. Yeah. This one also does make, oh, a sheesh. Also, I was just going to say, this one makes corms like crazy. Can you see them in there? There's one there, like by my pinky. There's one here. There's one there. Like one there. Oh my word. It does have a nice root system in there. But yeah, I could probably just, oh geez, I could pull those corms out. Yeah, like I said, also one that likes to make corms, really, really does. A very, very easy one, this one. But again, if it does get spider mites, it does look awful. However, I don't feel like this one is as susceptible to spider mites as the black velvet. I don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. But yeah, love this one. Absolutely love it. This is one of the corms from the mother plant that we actually don't have anymore. The mother plant was Mitch's plant, but we had that one in stratum, like rehabbing, and he was having a hard time, like always having water in there, and yeah, it died of rot. It was died of dry rot actually. But I love this one. The Ninja is so beautiful, and also quite an easy one, but also actually makes flowers quite frequently. They go through like cycles. It's given me a couple of flowers, but now it's giving me leaf after leaf after leaf, and oh, I love, like, I know you shouldn't, you should just leave it alone. Like the backs as well, it's like the black velvet, like red. Oh, black velvet is like a little bit more intense red, but I just love it. Absolutely love it. It's such a pretty one. I definitely have a thing for like velvety plants, but the spider mites with the velvet plants, it's hard. It's just hard. Next up is also one that does not have foliage. I know you were going to give me a new leaf and then you didn't. Why did you change your mind? I don't see any new roots in there. Yeah, this is all that you can see of my Alocasia melo. And I usually used to stay in the 1 to 2 leaf club with the melo. I don't know, I've always struggled with this one. We have one that looks similar, so I think that I might part with the melo, but it's so pretty. I love like the round leaves of the melo, and it's just, there's something about it. It's just so pretty. But I've heard that like the dragon moon or the maharani that look very similar, they are a lot easier than the melo. Yeah, ever since I found a melo also at a plant sale. I did not pay a lot of money for it at all. And it's also one that makes corms quite frequently, but it just doesn't do well in my home. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't like conditions. So now I'm going to try my cabinet. That's where this one is living. Did I mention? The ninja, yeah, I didn't mention. The ninja is living in the alocasia corner. But yeah, this one's living in my cabinet. So yeah, I've just got it in stratum at the moment. I did this quite recently because it killed off its one leaf that it had. It was so beautiful. So, I don't know, is this like dormancy in the middle of summer? Like, what you doing? What you doing? It's just not happy. I don't know. I've always struggled with the melo. I always struggle with the melo. Just have a very hard time with it. It just doesn't really seem to like my home. You know, there are just some plants that won't. But I can't, with alocasia and like with alocasia and Hoya, I'm very stubborn. Like I will try. I will sometimes get several to see if it's maybe just like a dud, because sometimes a plant can just have bad genetics. It's also one that I would get like over and over again. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. But yeah, that's what my melo is looking like. Next up is also one that I got this year, and that is the Alocasia lukiwan. Quite a nice one, quite a nice size as well. I don't know, I seem to have a better time with these type of alocasia, not with like the jewel alocasias. They are a little bit dramatic. They're a little bit dramatic. However, the micholitziana and me just do not get along, and that's not a jewel. I don't think that's a jewel alocasia. I don't think so. But yeah, this one, the Luki one, this one was actually at my work for a while. It's not a very popular one for some reason, and it wasn't expensive either. It was like 12 euros, but I don't know, people just didn't pick this one up. But I wanted to test out and see how it did at my work, because at my work it gets moved a lot. It gets, you know, like flung about a little bit. It sometimes even gets overwatered as well, or underwatered, like it goes either way. So I wanted to see how it did then, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to bring home another dramatic alocasia. And this one is definitely not dramatic at all. This one is very, very easygoing. So yeah, I did decide to bring it home. It's already rooted very, very nicely. This is also in the mix from Subotanica. I sometimes switch between like the mix from Subotanica and from Soul Ninja, because both of them are very, very similar. However, the one from Subotanica, there is chunky pieces of activated charcoal, whereas in the one from Soul Ninja there isn't. I sometimes also add perlite, because honestly you could go like a good 2 weeks sometimes, depending on the weather, without watering them, because they hold on to moisture so incredibly well. So I sometimes add perlite, because my watering like routine or habits, I can very quickly like overwater them then. It's definitely been like an adjustment with the new mix. So, but yeah, I haven't added perlite to this one, but I knew this one would be absolutely fine. I can see I probably need to water it again. This one's definitely a very thirsty one, that's for sure, very thirsty. It's given me this leaf. I mean, look at the size of it. It's given me this leaf in my care. This one was actually unfurling when I brought it home, so I thought it might be a little bit deformed. But however, you can see the next leaf is a little bit smaller. It is a little bit deformed on the tip. I don't know why. Maybe it got stuck. I think it might have gotten stuck. It still looks good, but it is a little bit smaller. So this one is technically the one that's in my care. But I brought it home, I repotted it and everything. So, you know, it's still kind of like acclimating, because I did a lot with this plant. It also went through a lot of my work, you know, being underwatered and overwatered and all of that. So, but it seems to be doing very well. It's growing very quickly, very nicely. And this one is actually to replace the Alocasia sinuata that I had last year, because that plant and me did also not get along. I couldn't grow it. I tried everything. It just died eventually. But yeah, I'm in love with this Alocasia. Just like the size of the leaves, the shape, the texture on there. It's so pretty. So that is the lukiwan. I love that name. It sounds like something from Star Wars. Whenever I say it, I think of Star Wars. It's just so cool. Then next up, this was also a wish list Alocasia for a very, very long time. Wait, I have two. This is also a plant that I could have multiple of. And actually Svetlana from Firefly in the Room, we did like a plant swap last year, and she gave me a corm of this one. It already had roots. Why are you droopy? Do you need to be watered again? Oh, you're right by the window, so that might be why. It does have roots, but I thought this one would grow a little bit quicker, if I'm being honest. And it's not done that. It's actually funny because the one that I rescued recently, that you would have seen in my last video, that one is doing a lot better. She can stay here if she wants, but it's just, she doesn't listen. Yeah, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to... She's too big. And my battery is going to die. Yeah, the heterophylla, I don't know. I thought this one was going to grow a lot quicker than it has done. I do see roots there. So it is doing okay. Maybe I should put this one back into my cabinet because it is living in the alocasia shelf. It feels... I need to water you again. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't. But it has given me... I mean, this is all new. The first leaf is there. And it's given me a couple of new leaves. But like the newest leaf is a lot smaller than this one. This one, it did give me this leaf in my cabinet. So maybe I should put it in my cabinet until it's a little bit bigger and more mature. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should put it back in my cabinet. And then another one that I rescued recently, which is actually looking a lot perkier. Yeah, it is a rescue, however. So leaves look a little bit beaten up. There's a couple in here as well, but the leaves also look quite beaten up. It's a rescue, so I don't expect miracles, but it's doing well. It feels very stable in there. I'm doing this because I want to eventually get this one into pon. Yeah, so I have two of those. I have two of the heterophylla. Next up is another drama queen because this one has not done anything in quite a while. I have this one in my little pot that's Svetlana painted. I love this pot. This is the Alocasia Reversa. It's so pretty. I also don't see any root growth on this one. Oh wait, I do see something. I do see something. You're not going to be able to see it. That just looks like, do you see that little white dot? It looks like perlite, but there's no perlite in there. So that's like the beginning of a root pushing out. I can see a bump here, so I think it might give me another leaf, but it just kept on giving me a leaf, then killing it off. It's a very pretty alocasia, definitely. It's not like, it's been quite easygoing. It's just a little bit on the slower side. That's for sure. It's quite dusty, but since we've been opening like the side window a lot more to get some like wind circulation, it's just not, it's not, my alocasias are getting very, very dusty very quickly, but because of the beneficial bugs, I don't want to do like any showering off because I don't want to, you know, shower them off. But I think it's time to just give them a little bit of a clean. But yeah, that's the reversa. Not much going on there, not much to say. Also living in the mix from, I think this is the one from Store Ninja, but again, they're very, very similar. But there's something happening there. It's just taking its time. Definitely taking its time. Another, let's just assume all alocasias drama queens. This one has been in this pot for a while and it has not done anything. However, I do have quite bad fungus gnats, and the larvae in the soil, they will eat at the roots. I have some stenoma that I need to use, but I want to do that in a video with you guys. So, but I do have that in the fridge. So I do need to do that because if they are eating up the roots, you know, your plant is also going to take a beating from that. This one looks awful. This is my pseudo sanderiana. Yeah, the leaf is very, it honestly almost looks bleached. It's at a certain point we're getting a little bit too much morning sun. This is one that definitely prefers lower light conditions. And that's why it looks like that. It's also starting to face upwards because it was, then I moved it. So the only light source it was getting was the SANSI grow lights from above, but I was also putting leaves over it because I didn't want them to be blasted with light because they are quite strong. It's giving me a new leaf there though. So that is promising. But this has also been on the slower side, definitely. And it was doing well for quite a while, but now for some reason it's not. Maybe I should take it, also put this one in my, Alexi's moaning because she wants to come inside. yeah, maybe I should also put this one back in my cabinet, you know, but I need to do a cabinet revamp, which will probably be the video after this one, because I have new shelves and everything. I need to give it a good clean out, and I think I want to maybe take some plants out and put some of like these, like my more finicky alocasia in there. I would really love to have a second cabinet just for my alocasia, but we don't have room for another cabinet. We don't. But yeah, that's the pseudo sanderiana. It was actually a plant that was quite easy for quite a while until now. But I did have this one in my cabinet, so maybe I need to put it back in my cabinet. This is, let's see, it's got spider mites. It does have spider mites. It does also have beneficial bugs in here, but why are you not doing anything? I don't see them crawling around in there anymore. My cuprea is always drooping like this. It irritates the hell out of me. It really does. I actually used to have a variety of this one, and that's the golden bone, and I killed it. It just rotted on me. It is also definitely a very temperamental one. I'm going to put the sachet on the leaf. It is, however, seems to be working on its root system. You can see some nice healthy roots there. But it just, I mean, look, it just keeps on getting spider mites. Do you see the spider mites? Oh, it just keeps on getting them. I've got good bugs on there, 4 spider mites. I don't know, this just also might be one of those plants that just doesn't like me or my home. It does look like it's going to give me a new leaf. However, that might also be a flower. You can see there in the middle? Yeah, I don't know. It just keeps on getting spider mites. It just keeps on doing this drooping thing, so I can't even see the leaves or appreciate them because they are beautiful. But it's just a drama queen. It's just a drama queen. So yeah, that's the cuprea. Also one that I think I will never like stop trying to figure this one out. But it's just, I don't know. It's so pretty. That's why I wanted to try the golden bone, but that one seems to be even more dramatic because I killed that one in the first week that I had it. Unfortunately, I wanted to add that one to this list because the golden bone was a wish list alocasia, but because it died on me so incredibly quickly, it made me very, very nervous to have that plant, so I didn't go ahead and like repurchase it. Because I've tried with a baby plant from that, I've tried with a mature plant from that, both of them just rotted within a week of having them. So again, that might just be one that's not meant to be for me, and maybe the cuprea is also that, but it's just so beautiful. They're all very, very beautiful. Okay, I had to take a short break, so I don't remember what the last thing was that I was talking about. I think I was just about to show you the platinum, which, here it is. This is quite a new addition. I got this at my work. And this is also one that used to be so expensive. I think there's a spider living in here. That is okay. You can stay there. I think this is one that this has also been going down in price quite a lot. I paid 14 euros for this big one. Like, it's a big one. There is multiple in here. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's probably 6 in here. I'm not going to separate them just because I want a full one, and I don't know. I was a little bit nervous to separate them, so I'm not going to do that. I do already see some new roots here, which is very promising in there as well. So that's good. That's good. So yeah, this is my platinum. Like I said, there are 6 in here. But it is such a pretty one. Oh, it's so stunning, so stunning. It didn't actually have any corms, which I was quite surprised by. So I don't think this is one that makes a lot of corms. I'm not sure. But the fact that it's already quite a big and mature one and it's not got any corms, I don't know. But I think I repotted this maybe not even 2 weeks ago. I can already see. There's a new root there. Yeah, I have it in these. This is the aroid pot from Planspectrum, and I love these because of the slits. So it's like anti-spiral, and it's also got ventilation like all the way up here. And at the bottom, it's also got quite a lot of holes as well. I love these pots for ventilation, especially with like plants that are more susceptible to rotting, like alocasia. It's just the perfect pot for them. And, you know, it's also see-through, so you can see a lot. This is in the Subotanica mix. However, I have added perlite to it because it makes me just feel that little bit more comfortable, you know, when it comes to watering. But it's given me a lot of new growth, like a lot of new growth. Obviously, there's 6 plants in here technically, but yeah, there's a new leaf here. That's a new leaf. Yeah, there's a lot of growth. And actually, funny enough, I've not lost any leaves. So I'm hoping it's going to be okay. This is also one that I've been wanting for quite a while, but I was kind of on the fence whether I should do it or not, because I have another one that's similar to this one, that looks similar to this one, but I don't know. I saw it at work. They came in a tray, and also the price had gone down on them. I think it used to be like over the 20 euros for a big one like this, and then all of a sudden it was 14. So yeah, they're definitely going down in price. I have it in, this is also a new pot. This is from Capi, and this is made with rice husk. So it's like recycled, but I think it's really pretty. It's also very nice and light. So I've got it in here, and I love the gray combination with this. So yeah, I just love this whole setup. It's just such a beautiful alocasia. It's so pretty. I'm so happy that I decided to go for it and put this one in my collection. But this like specific one definitely spoke to me because it's already got quite nice big leaves. We also have like really big ones as well at work. And this plant is stunning when it does get really nice and big. And it seems to be quite an easy one so far. Shame, he just had an accident. He's quite good with going on the potty, but the potty was inside. We hadn't put it outside yet, so that's good. You know, accidents happen. The next one, number 23 on the list, is the Dragon Moon Alocasia, and that one is kind of like up for debate whether that's the Maharani or if it's like a different one, but I don't know. The seller that I bought this plant from, it was very persistent that it's a Dragon Moon, that it's not a Maharani. I don't know. I really don't know. You know, I suppose you will like never know. But yeah, the Alocasia Dragon Moon is one of Mitch's plants, and that one gives me the same like feels as the melo, but the melo just has that really pretty like round shape. But the Dragon Moon has been a very easy-going Alocasia for us. It's growing in pon. It did cycle through flowers recently, and it's actually just giving us its first leaf again. Yeah, the cycling with the flowers, you do have to have patience, and it does take time, and they also really stink. The cuprea and the Dragon Moon, their flowers really stink. Other alocasias like the micholitziana, when that one flowers, I don't smell it. It's weird. And what was the other one that recently flowered? And it also didn't smell. Was it the gageana just before it went downhill? I think it was. And yeah, that also had no smell whatsoever. But the cuprea and the Dragon Moon is in Mitch's cabinet. And the one morning I came downstairs and it stank, like it really stank down here. And I could not put my finger on what it was, because I've always had alocasias for like years and I've never experienced that smell. So it's obviously only with certain type of alocasias, but it really stinks. Even with it being in its cabinet and it's like weather stripped, you could still smell it. When the cuprea was flowering, oh my word, you could smell that up until the hallway upstairs. It was bad. It was really bad. And I know there's like, it's up for debate whether you should cut off your flowers or not. Honestly, I never really noticed a setback with my alocasias if I cut off the flowers. I did, however, notice that if you cut off the flower, the plant does produce more flowers. So, you know, that can happen as well, which is normal. You know, it's a normal reaction of the plant. But the Dragon Moon, we did absolutely nothing until we realized that, you know, it was that sting. But it had 3 flowers at the same time. And we cut all of them off, and I think it gave us 1 more flower after that, and now it's given us a leaf. So I don't know, I feel like it's different with every alocasia, and it just depends. It really does just depend. But I do feel like, you know, the plant has already put its energy into
producing the flower, that if you cut it off, it's already spent that energy on making the flower. So I feel like it might not make a difference. I don't know. If it really stinks, then there's like no question I have to cut it off. I don't want my whole of the downstairs here to smell of alocasia blooms because it is really, really bad. But yeah, I don't know. I've not really noticed a difference in alocasias, like if it does affect the plant or not. But like if you think about it a little bit, I guess it kind of would affect the plants, like either way, whether you leave them on there or you cut them off. I think it's just, you know, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do. But yeah, in that case with the dragon moon, we had to cut off the blooms because of the smell. It was really bad. And it did at one point, I said 3 blooms, didn't I? It was more than that. I think at one point it had five blooms. It was really bad, like really bad, because I remember Mitch was getting frustrated because it just kept on blooming and it wasn't giving him new growth. Because we also noticed with it having, yes, that's right, it had 5 blooms at the same time, and one of the leaves, which it still has, started getting like yellow patches on it. Like this plant was putting a lot of its energy into the flowers. So at that point, like it's too much. Like it's too much for the plant. It is quite a mature one. It's also got a lot of corms. That one also makes corms very, very quickly. But it's a beautiful alocasia. It kind of scratches that itch, you know, with the melo type of thing, with that like dark silvery, I don't know. I do know that the Maharani has more of like a purpley back. The Dragon Moon doesn't have that at all. So I do think it's a different variety, but the plant community, they just like throw names left, right, and centers. Like it's just insane. But yeah, that's how we bought it. That's the label that it had when we bought it. And then where did I put you? Oh, you're right here under my knee. This little baby. I am so eager to watch this one grow. So this is the one that I said looks very similar to the platinum. And it does, like the leaves do look very, very similar to the platinum. However, when this one gets bigger, this one has beautiful red backs. This is called the red gray Alocasia. Naraiza gifted me this one, or gifted me like a little corm. And I think, or did she give me 2 corms? I don't know. I think one didn't make it. Yeah, I think one didn't make it. This one is not doing much, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't see anything happening in the root department. However, it is giving me a new leaf there. So that's exciting. I do have it in a cup that has like a crack in it, so I do have to water it a little bit more frequently. This one's living in my cabinet. But yeah, it's giving me new growth, so it seems to be happy. It does also, like right at the petiole, you can see it's like a little bit red. And you can see on the back of this leaf a little bit more of like the red veins. Do you see? But with the red gray, the whole backs like are completely red. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like it looks like the platinum, but the backs are completely red with the red gray. That's like the only difference. But foliage wise, I feel like on the front side or on the top side of the leaf, it does look the same, I think. But that's that little one. I've been watching this one like a hawk. It does seem to be quite a good grower, but it's kind of, I used to have it in stratum and it did very well in stratum, and then I uppotted it to this. This is a Cibotanica mix. And now it seems to have slowed down, but I have given it like a bigger cup. Like it was in a tiny cup, the corms. And yeah, there were 2. One didn't make it. One, unfortunately, I let the stratum dry out a little bit too much. But that's the only thing with stratum, is the watering, that it dries out, especially in my cabinet, so quickly. But yeah, that is the red gray. And then we've made it onto the other side. So next up is also a plant that I cannot physically show you because I have corms everywhere. I think I have about 20 corms of this plant. And that is Alocasia dragon scale. I'll see if I can find a picture or footage of what it looked like the last time I had foliage. It was very, very beautiful, doing very well, but I put it in a bigger pot. I had it in pon. I was living in pon. It was in quite a coarse mix, so quite chunky pieces, and it made so many corms in this teeny tiny little pot. I think this plant was definitely stressed out because it was root bound. It just wasn't the corms that it was making, I could tell that it was like out of stress because it was just trying to survive because the roots couldn't do anything anymore because it was so root bound. So yeah, I did stress that plant out, and when I repotted it, it just like, and I took all the corms off and gave it like a completely new pot and like a bigger pot. It just stressed. It just completely threw a fit, and it just said a no. So that plant just turned to mush. However, I do still have all of the corms from it. So yeah, I do really want a variegated dragon scale, but I do want to suss out the regular dragon scale first. I'm thinking, I've noticed that a lot of like the jewel alocasia, that they, at least in my home, that's just what I've experienced, is that they prefer a soil mix. Like, I don't know what it is. I also have another alocasia here, which is the next one. I'll talk about that one, and I actually talk about that one, why I think that is. Again, I think it's mainly more got to do with conditions and like my plant care approach. I don't think it's necessarily got to do with the substrates, but my care approach, I think, suits better in a soil mix for the jewel alocasias. That's just what I've sussed out. I used to have a really good time in pond, but then obviously I've gotten more plants over the years and things have changed. I've also got kids now, so you know, it's different. It's things change. You know, you change as a person as well. You know, that's perfectly normal. And I think now, like my plant care approach, so that it's just like different. So I don't necessarily want to say like dual alocasias prefer soil. Definitely not. I think it's mainly got to do with like me and the conditions that I can give them, because I know that alocasias just in general do really love pon. It's just me that I've kind of like taken a step back and I need to refigure it out, sort of, because my plant care routine now doesn't really suit it at the moment. It's just, but you know, I love experimenting. It's why I'm doing this thing with like the wick and the self-watering pot and like different semi-hydro mixes. I think I've got like 4 different types of semi-hydro mixes. You know, it's just experimenting, and I love that. I love that with the alocasia, that I'm constantly experimenting with them. And it's nice, you know, they make corms and you can experiment with that. And it's, in the last year, something that I love doing with alocasia is stratum and propagating them in stratum, because of the added nutrients in stratum, it just gives them like that little bit of a kickstart. Whereas before I had it in like perlite or sphagnum moss or even just like a tray of water, I just noticed that they took a lot longer to like sprout or do anything. And in stratum, it's just so much more fun because it happens a lot quicker. And yeah, I've just had really good experience with that. But anyway, I was going off on a tangent then. The dragon scale, yeah, that plant just threw an absolute fit. But I still have a lot of corms. So I still have that plant in my collection, but it's the same thing, you know. I just have the corms. I don't really feel like I have a physical plant in my collection. But yeah, I love that alocasia. Beautiful, absolutely stunning foliage. I think that was one of the first, like when it was rare, because I remember I found the dragon scale at my first ever pop-up sale, and that's when I also had just gotten my IKEA Rudster, and that's when I feel like the plant like addiction started. I was always a plant mom, but I felt like I was more someone who had plants than someone who was a plant parent. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, the dragon scale was like the first like rare alocasia. That was like 3 years ago that I got at a pop-up sale, and oh, stunning, beautiful plant. Next up is the silver dragon, which is this one, which looks like the dragon scale, except it is silvery. This is, oh my word, I don't know what number this is. Honestly, I've gone through so many silver dragons. This is definitely a plant that I like to experiment with, definitely. And I used to have this one in pond for a very, very long time. And it's weird. It's my care approach. It was doing so well, rooting like crazy. I could watch the roots grow. That's how quickly this plant was. It was just so happy. And I think I started overcomplicating it and watering too much and like being a helicopter parent, you know. And alocasias, I've noticed they don't really like that. But it's difficult because I feel like you kind of have to be a helicopter parent with alocasia to be on top of them, like, you know, pest check and make sure that they always like moist enough, but like the right level so they don't flip out. Because if you let them get too dry, then they'll most likely get spider mites. You know, it's just like a vicious circle. And this one, I've gone through a lot of ups and downs with this one. But yeah, I was in pon, and I think that's what happened, as I was overcomplicating it. So that's what I was doing. And it started giving me very weird, I don't know, the leaves are very like stunted in growth. This is the last leaf, and it's very deformed and funny looking. I think it's going to give me a new leaf. Or is that a flower? We don't know. It did also go through a cycle. That's what all of these like bits are here, is from the flowers. This is also one that likes to flower. Same with the dragon scale. I don't know. I feel like jewel orchids, they just like to flower a lot more. They're just like quicker to flower than the other ones. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's looking good. It's just a lot of the leaves are deformed because it did really take a beating. But it is a very, very pretty alocasia. And I moved it out of pon and I put it into, this was a DIY alocasia mix, but I made it a little bit more dense. So I think the only difference is that this one does have perlite in it. That's the only difference. Oh, wait a minute. I think this might be the Soul Ninja mix. And I also just added perlite. You can see a lot of, I don't think I cleaned this pot very well. You can see a lot of roots on the outside, so it seems to be quite happy. And this is living in the back room over there on the shelf. It's not given me any new leaves for quite a while, but it does look like it's going to push something. Whether that's a flower or a new leaf, I have no idea. Don't break the pot, Jacqueline. But yeah, that's the silver dragon. It seems to be quite happy there. It's been there for a couple of weeks now, and it's pushing that out, so that obviously means it's happy. It's quite wet, but it gets very, very warm in that back room. I did recently water this, so I think there was a little water reservoir in there for quite a while. As you can see, the roots still look very healthy. It's just a case of being on top of watering in that back room, because it's not this area. I sometimes have a hard time like being on top of it, but because we're outside more and we pass by there every single time we go in and out, I feel like I'm on top of it a little bit more. But that might have been sitting in water for a little bit too long, but roots still look okay, so it seems to be fine. The next plant I'm not going to bring over because I have a feeling that I might have killed this plant. I wanted to pick it up to bring it over, and it was very, very wobbly. I think there might be some root rotting going on there. That is my Alocasia amazonica. I used to actually call this one the poly, but I didn't know there was a difference between the poly and the amazonica. Or is there? Like, I have no idea. To me, they look exactly the same. But yeah, it was labeled the Alocasia amazonica. I got that one in the IKEA. Very, very big. It has lost a couple of leaves. Surprise, surprise. I feel like that's probably maybe like my third one that I've had. But it just keeps on getting spider mites. It just keeps on, yeah. That one, I've struggled with that one. That's also one that I just doesn't like my home environment or my plant care approach. I have no idea. But I got it quite big for like 10 euros in IKEA, and it's such a beautiful one. I mean, they all are, but it's, I don't know, it's just in the moment there and then while I was there in the IKEA, I just had to get it. And it still looks okay, but I think I might have rotted the plant. So we'll see, but it definitely has corms as well. So I think it will be, you know, I'll still have that plant. It's just, yeah, I love the veining on that one, and like the really glossy leaves. It's just such a pretty one. It's always one that you see everywhere. Like you see in the IKEA, you see in the supermarket, you see, like it's one that's very readily available. But I've just tried so many times with that plant. So I think if I've killed it now, I think it's safe to say like that is it. That is it. It has had spider mites. However, I was able to get rid of the spider mites very, very quickly. I think it's also because it's out there. I can take it outside and just hose it off very quickly. And I do that with a lot of the plants there. So I feel like pest-wise, I'm showering them off quite frequently. So I don't really ever get like an outbreak. So yeah, that is the Alocasia amazonica. Next up, where are you? Oh, here you are. This was also a wish list. This was my first ever pink variegated alocasia that I got. And that is the pink bambino. So pretty. It is recently given me. Okay, I'm just going to take it out of the pot. Oh, there is water at the bottom. I thought I needed to water this. It does look like I need to water it. This one has a very like spindly root system. It's quite wobbly in there. Probably put some, again, like put some more soil at the top. But where is that new leaf that it just gave me? Oh, it's stunning. The one I'm holding here. Oh, oh. Look at the variegation on that one. Oh, come on, Jacqueline. Do you see? Oh, it's so pretty. So, so pretty. I bought this on Downtown Plant Club. They were doing a sale, but also it was like a weekend thing where you give in your details and they contact you with like photos and videos of the plants so that you could like choose it yourself. And I chose this one. It's given me 4 leaves since I've had it. Yeah, it seems to be quite happy. But I can't stop looking at that new leaf. The pink on there. This one is also very pretty. Yeah, I used to have a regular bambino, but for some reason I wasn't able to keep that one alive. And this one is so easy. It's so easy. But I don't know, I do miss it. Like it's in the alocasia corner, but I don't know, it's kind of like behind other foliage, so I can't see it very often. But I think I asked Mitch just now if I could film for like the rest of the afternoon and I will go and pick up Maya. So I just picked up Mateo from school. It was a half a day because it's a Wednesday. But that's kind of like, negotiations. So he's outside with Mateo, but then he doesn't have to drive like 20 minutes to go and pick up Maya from daycare. So I can, like, whatever I want to do this afternoon, I can do. So I'm thinking maybe I should film my IKEA Millsbo tall revamp with like the new shelves and everything and have an alocasia shelf. Because some of my like babies, like this one and yeah, like other ones that I've mentioned that might be better in the cabinets, I think I might do that because I don't see this one very often. And I don't know, it's just so pretty, so pretty. I definitely love the black velvet more because that was a wish list plant for way longer. But other than that, this one has a very special place in my heart because it was my first pink variegated plant. And the fact that it's also an alocasia, just, so, so pretty. Highly recommend. It's a lot easier than what I thought it would be. I thought it would be a drama queen because the normal one was a drama queen for me. Unless, again, that could have just been a dud. It really could have just been a dud because I only tried once with that one, I think. Okay, the last 4 plants are not plants that I'm going to be able to physically, like, bring here. But I'll pop in footage and everything of them. But the next plant is the Alocasia zebrina, and that is a alocasia that I actually rescued. That's my second zebrina. The first one I left it last year. I left it outside for too long. It lived outside in the summer and it was very happy, but it all of a sudden went from like a heat wave to being very, very cold, and yeah, it didn't survive. I was able to save like the corm, like the rhizome, because it was quite a big one. It was quite a mature one, but it never did anything. I kept it for quite a while, like a long, long time, and it just never did anything. I think for about a good year, I waited like a good year, and it gave me like no new growth, no new root growth. So yeah, I did just throw that away. I could have probably waited longer, but I think waiting after a year, I think that's pretty good. And the one that I have now is one that I rescued. It was going to be thrown away. Mitch's mom had it and it was just getting way too big in her home. And I said, don't throw it away. So yeah, I brought it home and I repotted it, and it has taken a little while because she brought it over in the middle of winter or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, obviously moving that plant to like a different environment, it kind of shocked a little bit. It dropped a lot of leaves. So yeah, it's not looking the best, and the new growth that it's given me now is also a little bit damaged. But it seems to be a lot happier in that back room than where it was. It was in my alocasia corner, in the spot where I have my monstera Thai constellation now, but it just wasn't happy there. It just started dropping leaves like absolute crazy. It could also just be dormancy again. It was not the right time of year. But right now it's in the back room, and yeah, it seems to be happy. It seems to really like life there. I don't know what I'm going to do once it gets colder again. My hope is that by then we'll have the attic a little bit more situated, that I can put plants up there, because we have Felixes there now. So we have a lot of nice light there. So I think I can put plants up there, like for overwintering and all that, just like all the plants that are in the back room maybe. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'm going to try and make that my goal to be able to do that by the winter. But yeah, that is the Alocasia zebrina. Beautiful plant, such a classic one. It really is a stunner. Oh my word, I just realized I completely forgot something. I'm gonna bring it over before I forget. It is just corms, but they're not dead. They're in this. This was from and the reason why I'm thinking of this one is because it is also a zebrina variety. This is the tirgina or tirgina or something like that. Yeah, this was from a huge plant at my work, but huge. And it got overwatered. Oh no. I think that one might be mush. Yeah, that one is mush. It's in perlite at the moment. That one is also still okay. And so is that one. Okay, so I've still got 3 corms. I think I need to peel them. This is definitely the biggest one. It was a very mature one. That is 1 corm. The other ones are a little bit smaller. But yeah, I think I need to peel them and put them in stratum. And maybe on a heat mat, because I've noticed that if I put them on a heat mat, that they do a lot better. But yeah, they've been in there for quite a while actually. I think it's probably been about 3 months. And I've never had that one. And I do really like that one. Like, it's beautiful. I definitely prefer that one over the regular zebrina. But yeah, I have them in this little container with perlite. It's living in my cabinet, but I think I just need to take them out and put them into stratum, because I really would like one. I would really, really like one. So I'm going to write that one down. I didn't write that one down. Tigrina, however you say it. Jeez. Zebrina made me think of that one. Yeah. One that I would really like to grow. I've not had that one in my collection. Well, I have it, technically, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not actively growing yet. I did already lose 1 corm, but they're quite thick corms, so I think it's going to be fine. But I don't know. Propagating in perlite, I don't have a very good time with that with alocasia. I don't know what it is. Next up is the portodora, and that one is living in the garden. That is one that we actually induce dormancy every single year. We've had that plant for probably about 3 years now. It's very, very big. So when we store it, we just chop off all of the foliage, and we just have like the, the base, like the rhizome, the corm. It's more like a rhizome then, because it's huge. We store that in the basement, and we just keep that dry. It's dark there, and it does get quite cold there. It doesn't like freeze there, but that's just where we store it. We also store our bananas there in the basement, because you can't, we could leave it outside, but if we have like one night where it freezes, like it goes below freezing and it's like very, very cold, even if you cover it up or you do all of those winter protection measures. We've done that with some bananas and they've not made it. So I didn't really want to take the chance with that one, because it is a very, very mature one, like very, very mature. Like I said, we've had that one for like 3 years. And yeah, every single year in probably, I think it's May, end of April, May, we plant that one in the garden. We have like this section where we have a lot of plants that we take in and out of the ground every single year for winter. Like we have dahlias, our bananas, like the bananas that can't, because we also have the ones that can overwinter. So yeah, that one we take in and out of the ground. We put it in that spot every single year, and it grows like crazy. I'll pop in a picture of what it looked one year. I think that was the year that Matteo was born. So yeah, that was like 3 years ago. I remember I took that picture just before I gave birth. So yeah, it was like just over 3 years ago. Oh my word. That was definitely the biggest that it ever been. Now I feel like it has taken a little bit of a setback for some reason. I don't know what it is. I think it's because oh, I know why. We didn't have enough rain. Yeah, we planted it in and we honestly had like almost a month of no rain whatsoever. And we weren't really the greatest with like watering then. I don't know. Plants in the ground, watering them just doesn't make sense to me. Like it just doesn't. But when it's like dry for a long period of time, then obviously you have to. But yeah, we didn't really do that with that one, but it's just given us a new leaf and it is stunning. It's quite big and it seems to be, you know, picking up now. So that plant is usually like in its prime round about August, September, I feel like. But yeah, that 1 year, 3 years ago, that was just like a perfect year. We just had like perfect conditions, you know, like rain here and there, but beautiful weather. And it doesn't get any pests in the garden, which is why we actually put it in the garden, because us having it indoors, it just had pests continuously. And I feel like that's a reoccurring thing online with the portodora, that one is known to get pests quite easily, specifically spider mites, but just with us, it was everything, like spider mites, thrips, even at one point, mealies. Like it was a recipe for disaster, that plant, keeping it indoors, but I didn't want to get rid of it. But it does very, very well outdoors. Next up is the lutea, and the lutea also can get very, very big. However, ours looks very minuscule and small and kind of sad. But yeah, we kept that indoors in Mitch's cabinet. That's actually one of Mitch's plants, the lutea, and the last one as well. It gets these like really like vibrant yellow stems, and it's got like a very nice like classical like elephant ear leaf. It's a very pretty one, but it just kept on getting spider mites indoors. It was just also one of those plants. So Mitch said, okay, this year we're going to try and do it outside. So yeah, right now it is looking a little bit sad, but I feel like it's going to pick up. We definitely need to up the watering, that's for sure. Specifically ones that you like plant out every year, like, you know, they have to basically start on a whole new root system, you know, so it's looking a little bit sad, but it's not dead, you know, it's still there. It's just one leaf. But yeah, the Alocasia lutea, beautiful. Can also get really, really big. I think that one, once it like starts to thrive, we just have to do a better job, I think, of keeping it happy like over the winter. My battery's going to die. Yeah, we just want to try and grow that one outside and see how it does, because keeping it happy over the winter and like pest free is near impossible with that one. We've just not had a good time. So fingers crossed for that one, fingers crossed. And same goes for the last one, which is the Alocasia clypeolata. This one is also known as the Alocasia green shield. It just, yeah, it has beautiful foliage. Like it really does look like a shield. It's beautiful, but it's also one that is quite dramatic. I've also seen that online, like that it's a reoccurring thing in other people's collections, that it's just a bit of a drama queen. It likes to stay in the 1 to 2 leaf or maybe even 3 leaf club. And we've tried everything with that one. We've tried growing it in soil and pond. It's the spider mites. It's the spider mites that are a real issue with that one. It just gets it so quickly. And yeah, Mitch also doesn't do the best job of cleaning the plants. So when it had spider mites, it had it quite bad, because you either see it too late or it's just, yeah, it's one of those things. So it ended up being put, I think it first moved to the back room, and then it just kind of got forgotten there because it was quite a small pot, and then we moved it outside, and then I thought, okay, I'm just going to stick it in the ground. It's got a better chance of surviving there because we just weren't watering it. It's definitely one of those Alocasia that like, it's like a hit or miss, you know, you either love it or you hate it. And I think it's got beautiful foliage, but the spider mites, is it worth it? Is it worth it because it gets it so bad? I don't know. I really don't know. It also seems to be one that goes dormant very, very easily compared to like other Alocasias I've noticed. It's just, yeah, every single species within a genus, they all have different, you know, different requirements, different like mood swings, I always say. And with Alocasias, that's definitely very, very noticeable, especially with like the last 3 that I've talked about. Like it's you kind of just have to, you know, find what works for you and how you're able to bring the best out in that Alocasia. And it's a learning curve, and I feel like I'm constantly learning with alocasia because there's always something. And now this, like last year, I feel like my care approach has slightly changed. So pond might not be better suited for that. But then you have things like with the wick system and like the self-watering and there's always different ways of handling it as well. So it's just constantly like a learning curve. But I feel like I have learned a lot about alocasia over the years. Some just are not meant to be. Like I think the golden bone, that one came into my collection so quickly. No, that one came into my collection and died so incredibly quickly that I was kind of like, okay, we're not meant to be. We're not meant to be. I'm sorry. Because I was doing the exact same thing as I was doing with the others. But then at the same time, it could also be that that one was a dud and there was already rotting going on before I purchased it and brought it home. So, you never know. That's why I sometimes like try multiple times. But sometimes that's not the case. I don't know. I still think about that plant like on a regular basis because I would actually prefer that one over the cuprea, because the golden bone is a hybrid of the micholitziana and the cuprea, but they're both very dramatic plants. So I don't know what to think. I probably will try again in the future. Let's be real, they're my favorite genus for a reason. It probably will happen, but we'll see. I have more than enough alocasias to take care of. And yeah, like I said, I have a couple on my wish list as well. I actually wanted to, I'm going to get my phone. But yeah, anyway, before I talk about that, I'm going off on a tangent. That was my entire alocasia collection. 33 different varieties. Hi guys. Okay, I forgot one. Now you're like leaning on my watering can. Dangerous stuff going on here. But I was coming up here to film some B-roll for the video and I realized I completely forgot one. And I wanted to show you guys. And that's this one. This is a Alocasia scalprum. Okay, wait. It's not really, my hand is in the way. There it is. It is going to drop this leaf, but I think that's because it was leaning up. I have like a dome on here. I might just take that leaf off. There we go. So yeah, I do have an Alocasia scalprum. I completely forgot about that. Oh my word. I have a ninja and a zebrina also in here. And I'm actually going to check now that I'm here with you guys if there's anything else that I forgot about. Okay, while I was talking to you guys, I just like randomly stopped and started watering everything in here. Anyway, there's more, guys. There's more. I said first it was 32, then it was 33, 34. I've honestly lost count at this point. Yeah, so I had the scalprum. I do have another one here. This is what it looks like though. It's rooted very, very well in there though. It's just looks like it might give me a new leaf. But that is this one. That's the Alocasia Venusta. This is one that my mom gave me. And I do eventually want to grow this one outdoors as well. But that's that one. These were two corms that someone had plucked out of a pot at work. This is the Alocasia Yucatan Princess. And this is also one that I've never had before. So there's that one. So I've lost count. But yeah, I just quickly wanted to show you that. What has happened? What has happened? It's just insane. But I love them. I really do. And it's definitely next year there will be more. 100%. It's just, I don't know. I don't feel like I've been downsizing lately, but I've definitely noticed the plants that I appreciate more. Like I've been thinking with some of my Hoyas that look very similar to kind of downsize on the ones that do look similar. And yeah, it's the same with the Alocasia. However, I'm such a sucker for Alocasia. Like the platinum was one that I was thinking about for quite a while, whether I should do it or not, because I had the red gray and I was kind of like, well, they're both kind of similar. But I feel like with Alocasia, because they are my number one, I could have them all. I really could have them all. I could have them all. I really could. So yeah, that was my collection. And now I want to show you the ones that I have. I have this window open on my phone. It's the website of Downtown Plant Club. Surprise, surprise. They always have just like more interesting, rare plants. Okay, so these are the 3 that I have on my list in my cart, and that's the Alocasia macrorrhiza albo variegata, the Alocasia sulawesi carpet, and the Alocasia watsoniana big tap. It looks very similar to the Alocasia watsoniana that I had. However, the veining looks slightly different and it looks like it's more of a glossy one. I'm going to zoom in on the pictures so that I can like show you. But it's kind of going to be hard. But yeah, those are the 3. I've had this window open on my phone for probably about 3 weeks now, but I've not done it, and I'm kind of regret that I didn't do it because the Alocasia macrorrhiza albo was, now it's marked for $59.95 and I could have gotten it for, I think it was 32 euros. Like it had quite a nice discount on it, but that discount has ended. I'm a little bit sad about that one. I'm going to a plant market this weekend, so I am going to keep my eye out. Yeah, you guys are going to see this video the day before I go to the plant market. So I am going to keep my eye on that one. I feel like that might be one that I don't know. But yeah, those are the ones that I have on my list at the moment. There was another one, but I can't think of it straight away. And I feel like if I can't think of it straight away, then it's not one that I'll probably get like soon. But like I said, with the pink black velvet, if I see another one for a good price, I will get another one 100%. This one will be fine. Like it will bounce back, definitely. But it's obviously shocked a little bit. But it's just one of those plants that I could have a lot of. And I wouldn't be mad about it. But anyway, this is an incredibly long video, but who are we kidding? You know, it's Alocasia. I absolutely love them. Love them. They are worth the drama to me. They are worth the drama. So let's carry on talking about Alocasia in the comments. Let me know about your Alocasia collection. Which ones are more dramatic than the other ones? I would love to carry on chatting there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Come and join me on my jungle story. I share everything on my plant. There is not a lot that I don't share. I also share a lot on Instagram, like more photos and all of that, more frequent updates. I do also do a collection walkthrough every single month, giving you an entire update on my collection. So yeah, I really bring you along on as much as I can. So I would love it if you would join me. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.